Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is further confirming the bearish divergence on the daily time frame, while the Bitcoin dominance is testing a critical level. And if that level breaks, that could be huge news for the altcoin market, not just for Ethereum, but other altcoins like Solana as well, which I'll talk about later in the video. So definitely watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a quick update here on the weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is still running into this important area of resistance, sitting in between around 36,000 to 38,000. And so obviously due to that, the price is somewhat struggling in the short term around this resistance, which is to be expected, especially after a massive move to the upside. But even if we see a rejection from this resistance and we end up seeing a bit of a pullback, of course, that can occur within the larger bullish trend that we've seen throughout this entire year. Obviously, throughout this year, we have seen some short-term bearish trends or short-term pullbacks during the bullish trend. And if you're zooming into the daily Bitcoin chart, we can see this bearish divergence on the daily time frame is continuing to confirm with yet another daily candle close confirming in the red. And so far, this has been two daily candle closes confirming in the red, and at least as of right now, based on what we're seeing right now, it's looking like we could see a third daily candle close confirm in the red. And so essentially what this is doing in the short term is helping to actually put in place, cement the lower high in place here in the RSI, which once again is confirming the bearish divergence in place with lower highs in the RSI and higher highs in the price. And now what a bearish divergence actually means, in most cases, we end up seeing either a sideways consolidation, basically choppy sideways price action, if not a pullback over the next few weeks, if we're talking about a bearish divergence on the daily time frame. But obviously the last couple of bearish divergences here on the daily Bitcoin chart that we've seen throughout this year have actually resulted in a bit of a short-term bearish trend, which looks just like a pullback here on the larger timeframes. And so once again, those pullbacks can still occur within this much larger bullish trend before continuing the trend later on. But here on the daily time frame, of course, those pullbacks look more like short-term bearish trends, and we also have short-term bullish trends here on the daily time frame that change more often. And so with this bearish divergence now further confirming, of course, this is increasing the probability of a potential pullback happening over the coming weeks. And if you're zooming into a smaller time frame, looking at the 8-hour Bitcoin chart, right now, obviously the price is cooling off just in the short term because recently we have entered into overbought territories. And right now we have this previous line of resistance, which should now act as a new support, sitting at around 36.4K. But if we end up seeing a break below 36.4K, then of course we also have this ascending line of support sitting at approximately 35.2K. And so a potential short-term pullback to some of those levels of support is a possibility in the short term, but looking at the 6-hour time frame, of course, we still have an active bullish divergence, or hidden bullish divergence, I should say, because unlike a regular bullish divergence, which is lower lows in the price and higher lows in the RSI, this hidden bullish divergence shows higher lows in the price and lower lows in the RSI. And basically, this hidden bullish divergence invalidates if we see a confirmed break back below this previous low, which is sitting at around 34.6K. And so basically, if we end up seeing a confirmed break below 34.6K, invalidating the hidden bullish divergence, that will be the point where it makes more sense to begin flipping more bearish again in terms of the short-term trend and momentum. Because once again, we have clearly been in more of a short-term bullish trend for the last 1 to 2 months or so, especially. And in this short-term bullish trend, we've only seen minor pullbacks here on the daily time frame. Like for example, a possible pullback here on the 8-hour chart to some of these levels that I just mentioned is a possibility within the short-term bullish trend. But in order to begin expecting more of a short-term bearish trend, so basically a larger pullback like what we saw here or here, we really need to see a confirmed break back below around 34.6K in order to begin playing out that scenario. But at least for now, we just have some signs on the chart showing a slowdown in the short-term bullish trend, like this bearish divergence confirming, but we have not yet broken the bullish trend. We have not yet broken that bullish price structure, forming higher lows and higher highs. And once again, no matter what happens here in the short term, of course, that does not necessarily impact what is happening here on the larger timeframes. And now, if you're taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance here on the weekly time frame, we can see that over the last couple of weeks, of course, we have seen a bit of a pullback in the short term in the Bitcoin dominance. And so essentially what this means, in case you're new to this, basically when the Bitcoin dominance is going down, that means Bitcoin is losing market share against against the rest of the crypto market. So essentially the altcoins are doing better than Bitcoin if the Bitcoin dominance is going down. And vice versa, if the Bitcoin dominance is going up, that means Bitcoin is gaining market share against the rest of the crypto market. So if the Bitcoin dominance is going to the upside, that means Bitcoin is outperforming most altcoins out there. So basically with this short-term pullback over the last 2 weeks or so, of course, this has resulted in quite a spike in the altcoin market across some altcoins. And so basically this is just a test run for what we could see in the altcoin season, because this is an example of a massive altcoin season like what we saw in the first half of 2021. Obviously, the Bitcoin dominance had a massive crash to the downside, not just a short-term pullback. And during those times in the market, that is where we see crazy altcoin gains. I'm talking 10x gains, 50x gains, 100x gains, and more. And right now, in the short term, the Bitcoin dominance is actually testing this ascending line of support, this bullish trend line, which is sitting at approximately 52 in the Bitcoin dominance. And so essentially, if we see a breakdown in the Bitcoin dominance below this ascending line of support, that would be one initial bearish signal for the Bitcoin dominance, pointing towards a possible reversal, which is basically pointing towards a possible altcoin season if this level breaks. And of course, this is happening after a rejection from this level of resistance sitting at around 54% in the Bitcoin dominance, which if you bring out the Fibonacci retracement tool from this high back in late 2020 down to this swing low, we can see the 50% retracement level acting as a resistance sitting at around 54%. But if we see a breakout above 54% in the Bitcoin dominance, then we could end up seeing a move all the way back up to the golden pocket, which was also previous support back here, and that's starting at around 58%. And so essentially right now, the Bitcoin dominance is entering into a critical decision, either breaking this line of support or soon it will have to break out above 54%. Very soon it will have to make a decision. But if we end up seeing a bounce here at 52% along this ascending line of support and break out above 54%, obviously in that scenario, that would mean Bitcoin would continue outperforming the majority of the altcoin market. And if we actually break below that ascending line of support, then the next major support for the Bitcoin dominance is this previous area of resistance now acting as new support, sitting in between around 47% going up towards around 49%. And so basically, if the Bitcoin dominance breaks 52% to the downside with confirmation, then we would likely see a move down towards around 49%, in which case that would be massive news for the altcoin market, because you can see what the altcoin market did just over the last couple of weeks in this tiny pullback. And also, if we end up seeing a break to the downside in the Bitcoin dominance, that would actually make sense with other signals that are forming right now across different charts, like for example, the bearish divergence on the Bitcoin chart, while Ethereum, for example, is not actually forming any bearish divergence on the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And in fact, speaking of Ethereum, looking at the weekly ETH to US dollar chart, we can see the price of ETH is still forming this giant ascending triangle pattern, which is technically a bullish pattern. And unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum has not yet broken out above these previous highs. And so essentially the price of ETH has been lagging behind Bitcoin, especially while the Bitcoin dominance has remained in an uptrend. But this could potentially be a turning point with a bearish divergence for Bitcoin and no bearish divergence for the price of ETH. And also the price of ETH running into critical resistance, getting very close to a potential breakout. And this area of resistance based on these previous highs is sitting in between around $2,000 to $2,150. And so in order to break out from this pattern, of course, we need to see a confirmed breakout above $2,150 with at least some weekly candle closes confirming above that level. And also over the last one day, we have now seen a new weekly candle close actually confirming the breakout here in the weekly Ethereum RSI above this massive descending line of resistance. And this line of resistance has been forming for multiple years since the beginning of 2021. So this is a signal we have been waiting for multiple years. And usually the RSI acts as a leading indicator for the price in these circumstances where we see a breakout above resistance, for example, that often foreshadows a breakout in the price. But it is important to remember that this is on the weekly time frame. Each one of these candles is an entire week. So of course, it is still possible to experience short-term pullbacks and remain forming this pattern before seeing a breakout later on. That's also a possibility. And if you're looking at the daily time frame, once again, we do not have a bearish divergence here on the daily time frame for the price of ETH, unlike Bitcoin. But obviously, as of recent, the RSI has still entered into overbought territories, which is why we have been seeing a little bit of a short-term cool-off, basically a small pullback to help reset the RSI. But overall, the daily Ethereum price oscillators are looking more bullish than bearish because the RSI has not yet broken the bullish price structure. It's forming higher lows and higher highs, meaning the bullish divergence that I mentioned at around 1550 is still currently active. And taking a look at the daily Ethereum MACD, obviously this is still showing some bullish momentum. We have not confirmed any bearish cross in this indicator, meaning in terms of the trend and momentum on the daily time frame, we are still looking more bullish than bearish. But just in the somewhat shorter term here, of course, the price of ETH is basically in a choppy sideways price range in between this previous area of resistance, now acting as new support, and this area of resistance. And these price ranges are, first of all, sitting in between around $2,000 to 2030 in terms of support, and this area of resistance is sitting in between around 2.1k to 2150. And while the price of ETH is chopping around in this sideways price range, personally, I have an active grid bot trading this price action, which is essentially a trading strategy to make a lot of profits very easily during choppy sideways price action automatically. And if you want to know how to do that, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. And also, if you want to take advantage of this volatility, then make sure to check out Bybit, which is the exchange that I use to trade these moves. And I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. In fact, it'll be the first link down below this video. And if you actually use that link to make a Bybit account, you can claim up to a $30,000 deposit bonus. But without that link, you don't get all of those extra bonuses, so you might as well do that if you want to use Bybit. But if you cannot use Bybit due to regulations in your country, then in that case, there is also Bitflex as an alternative crypto exchange where you don't need KYC. And in fact, if you use the link down below to make a Bitflex account, that can help to enter you into a brand new Apple Watch giveaway, which is being drawn very soon. And in order to enter that giveaway, all you need to do is have a Bitflex account using that link down below this video, deposit $100 or more worth of crypto, and to make one trade on the derivatives market over at Bitflex to enter that giveaway. And so once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of ETH, Bitcoin, or many other cryptos, then make sure to check out those links down below for some extra bonuses or potentially win that giveaway. But anyway, getting into the Solana part of this video, because Solana has been one of the top requested altcoins in the comment section of my videos. And so if you want an altcoin that you want me to cover in these videos, then make sure to let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll make sure to cover the top suggested altcoins first. But today, looking at Solana on the 3-day time frame, we can see that obviously over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a major breakout already in the price of Solana. And in fact, if you're following me over on my Twitter account, then you would know that I tweeted out as soon as we saw this breakout in the price of Solana at around $27, saying we are breaking bullish, and also we're about to see a major short squeeze. I said that right down here. And so obviously, if you're following me over on my Twitter and you took that opportunity, you've basically doubled your money since then. And so if you want those extra trading opportunities or mentions of other altcoins like Solana, then check out my Twitter, link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. But anyway, taking a look at the technical price target for this massive ascending triangle pattern, which is a bullish pattern, that sets up a technical price target at around $72 approximately. And so obviously right now the price of Solana has gotten very close to that technical price target already. And in fact, right now we are much closer to the price target than the point of the breakout. And so basically what that means is simply based on this pattern alone, the risk to reward for Solana is not very good right now, meaning we do not have a lot of reward left to go towards that price target just in the short term here, compared to the potential risk of a pullback after this huge move to the upside. And if you're taking a look at the 3-day RSI, obviously right now this is extremely overbought. In fact, this is the most overbought we've seen the 3-day RSI for Solana since the actual bull markets back in around 2021. And so basically the RSI is telling us that we are very much due to see some sort of short-term cool-off to help reset the RSI, which can play out in the form of either a sideways consolidation, if not a bit of a pullback in the short term to help reset the RSI. But remember, what happens in the shorter term does not necessarily change the larger trend, which right now here on the 3-day chart, it is clear that the larger trend is bullish. But if you're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 1-hour Solana to US dollar chart, we can see that the price of Solana is on the edge of a potential break to the downside from this symmetrical triangle pattern. And if we actually see a break to the downside here in the short term, that can help to invalidate this small hidden bullish divergence that formed over the last couple of days. And right now, this descending line of resistance in the short term is sitting at approximately $59.40, and this line of support is sitting at approximately $56.50. And basically, if we see a confirmed break below that level of support or above that level of resistance, resistance, which right now, as of recording this video, we are potentially seeing a break to the downside, but we still need to confirm a break with candle closes actually below that line of support or above that line of resistance. And if you're looking at the technical price targets for this small symmetrical triangle pattern on the 1 hour chart, the technical price target to the downside, if we confirm this break below the support, then that would set up a technical price target at around $49.70 approximately. And so from the break to the downside, which is where the price is sitting at right now, to that technical price target, that's around a 12% move to the downside that could be coming next in the short term if this break confirms. But if we somehow see a very quick bounce here, and this is just a candle wick to the downside, and we end up confirming the candle back inside the pattern and breaking out to the upsides, then in that scenario, that would set up a potential price target in the short term at around $67.60, which would also be roughly around a 12 to 13% move to the upside. But remember, even if we end up seeing that confirmed break below this line of support and setting up that bearish price target in the short term, of course, that could be an opportunity to trade this as a short position just in the short term. But if you're looking at the larger time frames, if we see that pullback down towards the 40 range, of course, that could simply just be forming a higher low before continuing the larger bullish trend. And so overall, we are simply overbought right now. So we are due to see a cool off, either a consolidation or a pullback in the short term, but the larger trend remains bullish, at least for now. And if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is bullish or bearish using AI, and the video in the bottom left shows you that grid bot strategy that I talked about earlier in the video, how to profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.